Welcome. Hey there, TCG. How are you doing? And remember, coffee is love, coffee is life. 'Time for tea, Charlie. As you can see, Charlie. Feed Charlie. Feed them instead of me. Welcome back. And welcome in. I hope you're having a pleasant day. I am alive. I think that's the most accurate way to put it. I have all my fingers and toes, so I guess that's a good thing. Um, I realized today that I need to get myself a new cheap laptop because the one I use for chat for my painting streams is like pretty much dead. I did not. I heard something big was revealed, and like my ride home was watching some of Valrak's stream. Ooh, nice. Like essentially the YouTube fucking. Well, like he wasn't. I don't know if he was watching it live. But I know he was watching it after the fact, and like the first 17 minutes of it were on like on my way home from work in the car. So like I know something major was announced. I just don't know what it was. Um, Considering he was painted up as a Tau, I'm gonna think it's something Tau related. Um, Honestly, I kind of figured that I'd ended up hearing about what was released eventually anyway. It's like a lot of people in the community. Oh yeah, like I said, I only watched like the first 17 minutes of it. Like I was kind of getting frustrated because I'm like, okay, so what's this big reveal? Get to the point. And he was just essentially getting abused by his chat for the first 17 minutes. Oh, that's not the one I'm on. That would have been bad. Which I mean, if that's your bag, that's your bag. Ah, that's fair. Like, I don't know. I think it comes from like my mentality with streaming where if I don't get to the point like after like 10 minutes or so, I start feeling bad because I'm like I'm supposed to be, doing the thing and I'm just fapping about. But I mean at the same time like, ooh, nice. Like I can't really put the way I do like I can't use the way I do things as a template for the way everybody does things because like honestly, he's a much more successful streamer than I am, so he's doing something right with the way he does things. And not only that, fucking the way I do things is much different than the way other people do things. So, there's that. Um was that what the like big reveal was? Or was the big reveal the Stormcast versus Skaven? But yeah, maybe I should do that for my weekend streams. Fucking dick around for like 20 minutes before actually getting into whatever it is that I'm doing. Just sit and have a little chat. Yeah, I heard I saw something about AOS rules changes. Um but like, you know, sit there a bit before streams and, peruse YouTube. Be one of those streamers. Yeah, to be honest, the only thing that I saw about the rules changes for AOS was I saw something about no melee weapon ranges. It's just like a 3-inch engagement range, like melee engagement range. Which, okay, so I'm gonna first start out by saying I don't play AOS. It's not a thing that I play. So I have no experience with actually how the game plays. Or well, very little. I think I tried it out when it first was released, and then there have been like erratas and rule changes that have happened. So it's basically probably a different game by now. Um, but I think so. And obviously, this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I think some melee weapons. Yeah. Oh, nice. Um, weapon ranges. That's what I was going off about. So I think melee weapons having ranges is kind of a good thing in specific circumstances with specific weapons. So most melee weapons, like if you have sword and shield bros or whatever, that should be like essentially that I think should be within 1 inch. Things like spears and pikes, because like I know there are spearman units you can get and stuff like that, or I'm pretty sure there's units with spears that you can get. Those should be up to 3 inches. Like I think spears should have a longer range on the tabletop than like you know swords and maces and like traditional one-handed melee weapons. You know what I mean? Like I think there should be like a variety. I don't think it should just be like you know every weapon is standard this range. Like every melee weapon is standard this range, especially in a game where you do have a variety of melee weapons. Like it wouldn't make sense to have something like that in 40K because, like, really, there's only what, two armies that use glaive style weapons, and that's the Grey Knights and the fucking Custodes. Well, I guess, maybe the Eldar might have some spear weapons. I don't know. Now, my own opinions, like, notwithstanding, I do think that simplification to a degree is actually a really good thing. But I also think that when it comes to stuff like that, it should be targeted. Like, if that makes sense. Um, like, hmm. Oh, and like that's the thing. That's awesome. Like, one of my biggest gripes, and again, super unpopular opinion that I'm going to come out with. I think completely getting rid of vehicle facings was a bad move. Um, there are other games out there that are able to work that in to the game and have it not dumb. Uh, Vehicle facings. Like, honestly, I think they should have just been I think they should have been simplified, but I don't think they should have gotten rid of them. Now, this is obviously going back to like eighth, which is when they got rid of vehicle facings, but I think that was a bad move. They should have kept some sort of benefit to shooting at the rear arc of a vehicle. I did like the change that you could fire basically all of your weapons like they didn't have the stupid weapon arcs. I thought that was a dumb thing. Um to a degree. Again, like I think so I'm going to use BattleTech as an example here. I know they are fairly different beasts as far as gameplay goes. Um yeah, like okay, so the way BattleTech does it is the only time it matters is if you're in the rear arc of the mech or vehicle. That's it. That's all. And the rear arc is measured as anything that is behind essentially the back of the hex. So, give me one moment and I will just put my second coat on there. I'm going to have to probably do like a third coat. Downside of starting with black primer. Okay, so we'll set that down. We'll come over here. And we're actually going to grab a mech from the shelf. Well, exactly. Like, so with this guy here, basically the way BattleTech does it is the way that the direction that your feet are pointing, for the most part. Actually, this one's a bad example. Ooh, I'll use this guy. I have his front and back clearly marked. So with this guy here, everything other than, like, essentially, let's use something that doesn't have something that I'm working on it, shall we? So, like, everything behind that line is rear arc. So if you're shooting from here, you're shooting at the rear arc. If you're shooting from here, you're shooting at the rear arc. If you're shooting from, like, over here, and like granted, fucking 40K players, all of them are contentious. I used to be a 40K player. Fucking, I've heard enough arguments in regards to, honestly, the easiest way to do it. All vehicles have to be on a base that is the size of their footprint. Like, sorry, all vehicles have to be on a base that is the size of the current vehicle size footprint. If that makes sense. So, like, if my the stuff that I have still, like all my fucking minis, at least half of my rhinos are like the super old school tiny rhinos. Going with the way that I'd suggest, if I took a base the size of, basically it would just require me making or finding or buying a base that is the same size as a new rhino type deal. You know what I mean? And honestly, that would actually be really, really cool because you could then do like a rhino, like have your rhino modeled with dudes jumping out of it type deal. Or you could magnetize like the rest of the base and have your squad that's in that rhino magnetized to that base. But I mean, like, modeling for advantage is one of those things that no matter how the rules are, you have to deal with. And, like, yeah, then at that point, it's like, okay, so the back end of the base, that is your line for the rear arc, and that's the only one that you have to worry about is that arc. And then because it is, you're generally like as far as infantry goes, you're using units of people. You know, the majority of essentially the facing that's being shot at is where the majority by physical models is in. None of this whole like fucking seventh and sixth ed splitting your fire between two facings. I always thought that was dumb. I understood it. It was very simulationist. Um, but I always found that was a little too granular with that one. Like with that how that rule worked. Um, another one that another rule change that they have done over the past few editions, that I really, really did not like, and I thought it was a bad idea that they changed it in the way they did, was Overwatch. Um, I think what they should have done instead of making Overwatch a stratagem, because like the whole point behind Overwatch is you're not just going to stand there and let somebody charge at you. You're going to be firing at them. Like it makes sense. Um I can understand how it was strong, like a little stronger than it should be, especially like in 7th edition where if you were playing Dark Angels, you could be potentially firing Overwatch at your full ballistic skill with the right fucking force composition. Which that gives a gunline army a ridiculous advantage. I think what they should have done is instead of having it as a stratagem, what they should have done in my again, this is just my opinion, and I'm just an asshole with paintbrush. Um, what I think they should have done is have it as an action instead. Well, I think they should have taken a cue from like Kill Team and shit like that, and just had it so that okay, you pick the units that you want to Overwatch, and you then have to decide: am I going to shoot with this unit and potentially charge, or am I going to have them in Overwatch, so that they can shoot, so that they can essentially shoot as a reactionary action? You know what I mean? And just make it so that if somebody moves within range, and that you would be able to see them, like not obscured by a building, obviously, you can fire at them. Like it then takes a stratagem that, in my opinion, is pretty fucking anemic. Um, and it turns it into a tactical choice. You know what I mean? Like you're then going, okay, so I can set up this unit here around this corner or at this choke point. I'm going to put them into Overwatch, or these two units at this choke point. I'm going to put them in Overwatch. And if anybody comes around this way and tries to flank me, I can then potentially take them out or reduce the amount of damage that they would be able to do, type deal. Or it would be an awesome defense against Deep Strike. Like, obviously, you would have to give it the caveat that it couldn't be in direct fire. Like, you have to be able to see the unit you're shooting at. Um, because honestly, if you didn't, that's when it'd be like, okay, Imperial Guard Army, all as many heavy weapons teams as I can take, and all mortars, and they're gonna hide in buildings and behind shit. And if yeah, like that's definitely a possibility. Honestly, I'd even just keep it simple. Somebody deep strikes in, and they're within range of an Overwatched unit. They get the shit shot out of them. Because like it's not like your opponent wouldn't know that you have those units there on Overwatch, because that would be something that you would obviously have to declare. Like, hmm, yeah, that pocket's gonna need to be read. that little bit on it will be black. So will the little dangly bit on the zipper. But yeah, like honestly, I think they could have done a lot better with the changes to Overwatch because again, like it took it from being like kind of just everybody gets to Overwatch and made it like you know pretty much useless in my opinion, other than for a few armies. Um, yeah. Um, so I don't know if you've played like Kill Team or Necromunda on the PC, but that's basically how those games play. Is you essentially you park your units and then if you put them on Overwatch and spend the AP to do that, um except in those games you have a facing, which I don't think they should add for infantry in 40K. Like I think that would be a really bad idea. Yeah, so like it's that rule is actually in Kill Team as well. Um like it's and like I said, like I think it would be I think it would make it a viable, and honestly, I think it would make it a viable play style to play into that. Like you could definitely play a defensive play style where you, hey there, Sharky, where you basically just park on defenses and be like, nah, I'm not going to shoot at you. You can come to me, and then I'll shoot at you. But I'm also one of those assholes that kind of likes that interrupt play style in a lot of games. Like when I used to play Magic the Gathering, my favorite decks to play were um fucking blue decks, and Counterspell was my jam. Blue control. Oh yeah. I had at least a couple of decks where I could alternating activation is something else that I think would play very well with 40K. I think it would I think it would make it more like immersive, you know what I mean? But then again, I also actually really like the way the BattleTech turn structure works. So you roll initiative. The person who. Okay, so I'm probably going to get this wrong or backwards. Oh no, not deported to China. What did you do? Were you making Xi Jinping fucking Winnie the Pooh Pictures again. That's the one that hates fucking Winnie the Pooh, right? Because people were like, "Hey, this guy looks like Winnie the Pooh," and he was like, "Fuck you guys! You say that, I'll arrest you." Um, but oh, I didn't know you had a Chinese visa. Isn't that fancy? But yeah, like exactly. But no, like so the way BattleTech does it, they don't do it, it's not actually no, it is alternating activation, but the person who wins initiative moves second and shoots first. I think is the way it goes. I'd have to grab the book and double check that. But I believe that's how that works. Is whoever like initiative is done every round and the winner yeah, the winner moves second and shoots first, basically they're able to react to the movements of their opponent type deal. You know what I mean? Like so like for positioning and everybody that's alive at the beginning of the turn that is going to shoot gets to shoot. Even if like, you know, these two are shooting at each other, this one blows this one up, this one's still going to get to shoot. And then at the end when the round is over, then it gets removed. Because like when you think about it, everything is happening simultaneously. Like it's not like people are taking turns shooting. It's like, oh, it's your turn to shoot. Now it's my turn to shoot. Okay, now it's your turn to shoot. Um, the whole like turn structure is so that we can actually like get things done with some semblance of order. Um, so like it doesn't make sense that like it doesn't make a lot of sense. It makes a little bit of sense. But it doesn't make a lot of sense, especially when we're talking about like ranged combat, that you know, you would be able to get to shoot, but I wouldn't be able to get to shoot because we're both shooting at each other. And like, yeah, you may kill one of my duders in my unit, but there's a chance that they would have killed one of the duders in your unit as well. You know what I mean? Like, and especially when we're talking about like fucking genetically engineered super soldiers, you know, they're gonna take a couple of shots before they go down. But yeah, like I exactly. And like yeah, there may be some, you know, in the unit that die before they get to shoot. Those would be the missed shots. Whatever you miss. Okay, yeah, the that dude shot and he missed and he got shot in the dome. Sorry about your luck. Better luck in the next life. Type deal. Like I think I don't know. I have ideas that would be really good for like a tabletop, mainly tabletop like skirmish games, but I don't have the drive to actually sit down for long enough to put everything together. Like fuck, I have a wrestling fucking tabletop quote unquote war game that I've had in the works for at least 2 years now. Mainly because I don't like it is like, and I'm even just in the like getting down the like mechanic, like getting the mechanics on paper stage. I'm not even at the playtesting stage yet. If anybody's curious, it's basically a fantasy wrestling game, similar vein to Rumble Slam, but not bespoke dice. I think I was planning on using D10s, um, with like a modifier system. I'd have to go into the Discord channel that that's sitting in to know for sure. And this is like the second time, like, I have two different versions of the system, like, two different system ideas, like, mechanics wise, um, that I've gone through already. Mainly because I want to do like a progression style system with it, but I want it to make sense. Or I want to be able to have a progression system. To be fair, I'm also like kicking around an idea for a rules medium TTRPG system too. Yeah, unfortunately, like that's the way my brain works because like I'll obsess and like hyper focus on one thing, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, okay, yeah, I'm done with that for the time being, and it'll sit for like 6 months or a year while I hyper focus on something else. Actually, I kind of want to get that, do some more work on the TTRPG system because, like, the idea that I had behind it is kind of cool. Like, it's basically, again, right now I'm working on getting the mechanics down for it. But, like, I'm thinking of using a D10 dice pool system. Yeah, no worries. I'll stop nattering on about the nascent TTRPG system project. Ah. Oh, I'm gonna also say this now. If I miss like something in chat, it's because I have to use my phone because my laptop fan is doing the angry sound of death. Yeah, no worries. I appreciate you coming and hanging out. I hope you sleep well, monsieur. Oh. So the straps on the helmet, and I will put this out there for chat to give suggestions. Do I want to do those red? Or do I want to do them like a leather and make them look like leather straps? Because like the two main colors in this are going to be red and black. Like those are the two main colors on the piece. Um, and there is already a lot of red. So I think red would kind of look cool for the straps and bits. At the same time, I also think brown would look pretty cool as well. Like, I think brown would be a little bit more realistic. But I mean, at the same time, Sapphic, welcome in. As always, fill out the Google form and oh, stop that, dude, dude. Yeah, no worries. Um, feel free to randomly pick one of the feel free to randomly pick choices. The main thing is like basically so what it is actually if also if you want I can just refund the channel points you spent on that. Um if you do want a mech essentially customized for my tabletop force, um, just fill out the form that was linked, and like it doesn't require really any knowledge about the game. Um, um, so the only thing in there that would be kind of weird, oh yeah, and also the mechs and stuff like that are done in order of size. Elemental being the smallest, and assault being the largest. Um, yeah, yeah. Um, no, this is for BattleTech. So essentially, you would be piloting, or the character you create, essentially, um, would be piloting one of these things, or a suit of battle armor. Like basically, it's something to get, like, when I do get around to getting some in-person games in, which I do want to do this year. Um, it's basically something where I can bring some of you guys with me. Um, but yeah, so the whole thing with that is okay. So the in-universe relevant information in the form. A bonds when it comes to clans, the clans, the way they do some things is if they take somebody as essentially like a prisoner of war who is exceptionally skilled. Yeah, yeah. There are some where I will probably modify some of the one of the ones that I have already painted, based on availability and stuff like that. But so TCG, who essentially just went sleepy by, uh, wanted a mech, and the color choice that he made was red. So like the yeah. So essentially, the color scheme for the clan, as far as their mechs, is generally camo, with the right arm of the mech customized as far as the color for the pilot. So he wanted red, so very nice. But yeah, so like it's a bonds person is essentially, they were captured in combat. They're basically a prisoner of war. But they are skilled enough and have proven themselves trustworthy enough to fight for the clan. Um, and kind of indoctrinated enough. It's the clans. Their tactics are not always the most best. Um, and born into the clan, basically, your character would have been born in one of the pre-birth Sibcos for the clan, which are basically communal, or I want to say orphanages, but essentially communal fucking childcare centers. Um, where children are, especially mech warriors and essentially the warrior caste, are uh, raised. And then, yeah, so battle armor is essentially what you would think of when you think. I don't know how much you know about 40K, but essentially, clan battle armor is essentially like fucking Terminator armor. Except their whole shtick is climbing on top of battle mechs and tearing them apart, essentially. Um, Light mechs are 20 to like I think 45 tons, 35 tons, something like that. Um, they're usually fairly quick. Medium mechs are a little bit heavier than that, usually in the 50 to 60 range. They have a little bit more firepower and are your general line mech. Heavies usually have like one or two big bang weapons, and then a grouping of like medium range weapons. And then your assaults are your biggest mechs. They're the ones who have the most impressive weapon systems and a metric shit ton of armor generally. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to see if... Perfect. The one I grabbed first is the one I want. You're the one that I want. And I now need... Where are you, Payne's Gray? Payne's Gray? Nope. You are Carter Black. Payne's Gray. This one I'll probably have to do a couple of layers of, and I'll probably have to go over the black again, just because it is ink and it does move. It likes to move it, move it. It likes to move it. And like the history section, I think it is. This is basically just extra info about the persona. It could even just be a little bit about their personality, since you don't know a lot about the BattleTech universe. But essentially, it's the Milky Way galaxy, like 1,800 years from now. Okay, so we're doing the hair Payne's Gray. The reason I chose Payne's Gray is because it's essentially blue and black mixed together, and it'll give the hair kind of a little bit of a blue undertone. Which I want. Okay. Threw an Ultra Ball at a Caterpie. Well, I guess I have a Caterpie. Probably already had a Caterpie. more. So this. I need to get some of these that have shorter sticks on them. For doing stuff like this. Like, I need to get ones that are like with sticks that are like half the length. And I know I could potentially cut these down, but I don't have the tools to do so. Short stacks. Hey, I'm not opposed to a short stack. Though I prefer to call them snack packs. But giggity giggity. You know, at one point in time, short stack meant like a small stack of fucking pancakes. It was like a stack of like 3 pancakes. Awesome. Urgh. I have a kitty at my feet. She's a floof. I will take a look after stream. Normally I would do it on stream, but I'm currently using my phone for chat. As I'd mentioned earlier in stream, my laptop is basically kaputski. Um, I need to look at sourcing a new one. Either that or sourcing a fucking well, I can look at it if I'm back at my computer. It's just okay. So I know I haven't gone over how my stream setup is with you in chat. Because the last time I did it was like a few years ago. But I'm essentially across the room from my computer. So like I had a laptop that I was using specifically for Twitch chat while I'm at my desk because that way it was a lot easier and the Twitch app on my phone is a less than good alternative, but it's the alternative that I have right now. Um yeah, that's cool. Like I said, I will check it basically towards the end of stream, or if somebody were to redeem a tea time redeem, that would force me to go over there. Um, then I would be able to take a quick look. I do like how easy forms is to set, like how easy it is to set up a G form. I have to say it like that, otherwise my phone will be like, "Oh, did you want to access the voice commands?" Be like, "No." Okay, so yeah, I wanted to go over this a little bit, redo some of the red. Actually, I want to hit the black up. I have to fuck with the skirt. Okay, so ladies in chat, you can answer this question for me. With a pleated skirt such as this, okay, are I gotta hold it in my hand so that fucking focuses. Are these the pleats, the like top part, or are these the pleats, the part that are underneath? Something something inquiring minds. Okay. Okay, so it's the part on the bottom, or the part in the back, I guess. Okay, so the pleats are gonna be white for these. Well, I know basically what they are. It's just the it's just the whole which parts are were considered the pleats. Um, this whole thing. I should grab a bigger brush for doing this because this whole underneath bit here and the inside of the yeah, I gotta. And see, that's the thing. The Clan Iron Badger treats their bonds people way better than most other clans. To be fair, they treat their just people better than basically every other clan. So in BattleTech, before the clan, about 200 years or so before the clan invasion happened, there was one of the clans that ended up getting annihilated essentially by the rest of them, due to being framed for war crimes, and essentially because they were the the most capable clan of all of the clans. Like, so clan society is run on challenges. Um and like, nice. That that fully fits. And that's actually one of the things that I really like about BattleTech over like Warhammer 40K. BattleTech, it fucking there's a fucking pleasure planet with cat girls on it. There are canonically cat girls in BattleTech, or cat girls canonically in BattleTech. Now they're kind of cybernetically enhanced, and it's like it's mechanical parts that give them their ears and tail, but they're still cat girls. But I mean, like, nice. Hey, like, honestly, that actually would have been pretty awesome, Emmy, because there's a lot that I could do with something like that. Yeah, like light mechs are usually the ones that would be doing more like essentially strike and fade type tactics, um, and whatnot. So that, yeah, that fits. Like, honestly, any of the options there. But yeah, light mechs basically, especially clan light mechs, are definitely high mobility skirmisher type rides. And it's awesome. While being a lot more expensive than Inner Sphere Light Max as far as like value battle value wise, like points cost and D-bill cost, they are, essentially almost like, ooh, the easiest way to describe Clan Light Max, in my opinion, they are Inner Sphere Medium Max in a Light Mac chassis. Like essentially the clans have found a way to shove like that's entirely fair. Like essentially the clans have found a way to put 45 tons of guns and equipment inside of like a 35-ton mech. To be fair, a light mech with a PPC can one-shot a heavy mech with a lucky shot. Hell, battle armor can feasibly take out a heavy mech or an assault mech in essentially one round of attacks potentially. Well, I say okay, so when I say battle armor, I mean like a full fucking point, so 5 suits acting in unison. Like one of the things that in my opinion makes battle armor as cool as it is the fact that like elementals are designed to go up against mechs, and how that translates into the tabletop is they whenever they attack, they automatically get at least one critical hit, regardless of if they got through to the squishy internals or not. Oh, the elementals are definitely not non-threatening. Um, like essentially one of like so point cost, but that still works. That works rather well. But yeah, like point cost wise, a unit of 5 elementals is about the same cost, basically, as an inner sphere light mech, almost. Like the battle value is very close between the two. Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Um, though honestly, I think it would be a little bit more embarrassing to get taken out by a point of elementals, because like it's just 5 dudes, 5 angry dudes. Okay, I say dudes, but there's female elementals as well. I'm just using ah 5 angry genetically engineered superhumans. crawling your mech like a spider monkey. And lasering the squishy bits. The awesome thing about elementals as well is even out of their battle armor, they are fucking imposing. So when I say genetically engineered superhumans, an elemental stands 7 to 8 feet tall and is generally described as a walking mass of anger and muscle. Oh yeah, like and like it the awesome thing about them is so the rules surrounding elementals. They can ride on Omnimax, and the vast majority of clan mechs are Omnimax. So like they can just like hop on and catch a ride to get into battle quicker. When they're not riding on an Omnimac, they are difficult to hit because it's a small target. And while, like I said, they're very large masses of angry and muscle. They're just little guys. They're just silly little guys. Just a few silly little guys coming to say hi. Meow. Okay, so this one can go away because I don't need the 3 out anymore because that's enough of the black paint. Um, I'll go with the 0. And yeah, it's definitely ridiculous. It's honestly, it's one of the things that made me fall in love with the clans is the fact that they had just angry little super soldiers that were like, nah, I'm gonna fucking climb you. I'm gonna fuck you up, and there's nothing you can do about it. Hmm, not gonna do that. But yeah, like they are honestly one of my favorite units in the game. And it's basically because of how fucking ridiculous they are. Yeah, that works. Like it would obviously probably be shortened somehow during combat. Just like for brevity's sake, but yeah, it still works. Oh, nice. Fun fact, if you see my screen name somewhere, it's more than likely me. Um, I have only ever found one person. It's fair. But yeah, I've only found one other person that has ever used the screen name magical hack, and that was on fucking MySpace. Yeah, so like the whole gay social pressure thing, honestly, I'm not too worried about that. Um, yeah, no doubt. Um, Fucking, I have a Valkyrie mech that's currently sitting in alcohol that is going to get painted up using the trans flag color scheme. I was going to do it in like a camo pattern, but I wasn't feeling it, so I decided to strip it and start over. Yeah, that's 100% fair as well. For me, he they. Um, I will go with either. I was actually just thinking about it. Fucking all of the TTRPG characters I've made over the past 3 years have been they them. No, I think I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm pretty confident I'm picking up what you're putting down. If you want to be like just straight out and out direct, go ahead. Um, I do have the Ask Me Anything tag on my stream, so it's if I think a question is inappropriate, like I've said before, I will. Um, I would say currently I'm closer to Arrow than anything else. Arrow Ace. If that's ooh, okay, so pork belly. Hmm. Is it completely raw? Because so if you have access to a smoker, you could probably you could make some really really nice fucking bacon steaks out of that. Ah, neat. But um well, for what I'm suggesting, real smoke is the best. Um if I mean, honestly, I didn't see an issue with it, but there's a lot of right wing individuals who, well, okay, so if you go LGBTQ plus, it's a lot better than the full alphabet soup, which just kept fucking growing, or I should say, keeps growing. But I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, so oh yeah, 100%. Um, for the pork belly question, I would go with smoking it as my first option. Well, yeah, it is. Um, barring that, if you were to cube it and keep some of the fat, like Obviously, trim off a bunch of the fat that's on there, but keep like as much as possible so you can render some of it out. Then toss the cubes with some white flour, just so that they kind of like in a bag, kind of like you're doing fucking shake and bake. Um, then you can use that for like a pork stew base. The flour that would be coating the pork would be essentially the starter for your thickener and your essentially the starter for your roux for the gravy for the stew, and then you can just essentially start adding things onto that all into the same spot, all into the same pot. Then yeah, with that you would probably need to keep some flour to add in after the fact to soak up some of the oil because one of the things free cooking lesson for everyone. Interesting. Um, hey there, Kate. How are you doing? So like when you're making a roux, be it like for gravy, stew, what have you. I'm not doing too bad. Thank you very much for asking. And Sharky, thank you very much for dropping that shout out. But yeah, so when you're making a stew or like gravy or something like that, you want to start with a roux. That's going to essentially be your thickener. And with your roux, you want to have equal parts fat. That could be rendered grease. It could be fucking canola oil, whatever. Um, but yeah, equal parts fat to flour. So if you're leaving all of the fat on there, like I said, you're going to want to keep some flour just off to the side so you can add in to soak up some of that fat before you add water in. And what that's going to do is that's going to help cook off the flour so you don't get a floury taste. Oh, neat. Sounds like some of the cookware I've owned. Like a fucking dollar store cookware. Oh, hey, I have this super thin pot that I need, or I need to get a pot. Let's just get the super thin pot that, you know, I can get rid of. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Um, okay, still haven't decided. Fuck it. I'm gonna go leather. I'm gonna go leather. Very nice. Actually, once I end up getting around to getting some denatured alcohol for my siphon coffee maker, I'm probably gonna start using my French press that I have for tea, and just buy a bunch of like loose tea to uh, to use that with, because I think that would be rather fucking tasty, and that's one of the things that you can use a French press for. For those of you who didn't know, you can use it to make tea. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna go leather. I need some whites. And overheat. Heat, yeah. And before you pour it, you. Interesting. I can see that working. Oh yeah, and for anybody who likes, metal and metal adjacent music, these guys are like the singer for this band is a friend of mine. You should really check them out. They're awesome. I believe they're on SoundCloud. I know they're on Spotify because that's where we're listening to them right now. I will always shill for my friends. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm mixing a little bit of titanium white heavy body acrylic with some Dale sepia ink. That is going to create a kind of beigey color, which I use as a base for like my leather. I find it works really well, and the product that I come out with ends up being a fairly believable leather. Already. Concoction is going to be a decoction. Nothing draws more experience. Yeah, that makes sense. That tracks. Ooh, nice. Oh yeah, speaking of honey, for anybody who cares, my mead that I recently bottled tastes fucking awesome. It's not quite as strong as I want it to be, and I'm not 100% sure why. Ah, damn it. Here, clean that. Not gonna lie, reading reading those, I was super fucking stoked because like I love it when players in a game that I'm running do shit like that because that means that they're fucking getting into what's happening and they're actually engaging with the game, and it fucking makes my black little heart sing. And it also gives me potential plot hooks for later on. Ooh. Ooh, very nice. Damn it, now I want to get some of that and make mead out of it. Hey there, Arid, how are you doing? Hmm. Like, I'd like to just get leatherwood honey. That would be awesome. Thank you for dropping that shout out, Sharky. That would be the bee's fucking knees, as it were. Yeah, that's right. The bee's fucking knees. I might actually take a look because I think, like, with the way you describe it, that sounds like something it would probably be fucking expensive for a bottle of mead, or rather a batch of mead, because I usually make about 4 bottles per batch. But it also sounds so tasty. What? You know what? That's going to be a red plate. That's what I'm going to do with that. Bring some red up into the mask. Yeah. Like the thing that's going to end up killing me on it is shipping. 100%. Um because unfortunately, no matter where I ship from, unless it's Europe for some reason, shipping to Canada usually ends up being fucking atrocious. Well, actually, I was gonna do those metallic anyway, so what? You couldn't tell by my accent, you hoser? What's that about? No, I've been told I fucking enunciate weird for a Canadian. Um, I've been told before that yeah, so like it probably won't be like getting it wouldn't be like get if it was to be shipped from the States. Shipping from the States is painful, which is fucked up because it's right next door. But they're like, nah, extra duties because fucking reasons. Fucking duty is what it is. Shipping from the States. Yeah. Boring? The fuck you talking about boring? Yeah, if I could cross the border, I would, and also lived closer to the border, because like I live quite a ways away from the border. But yeah, if I was like closer to the border and could actually cross the border legally, I would probably do something similar. But then also to do something like that, I'd have to live in like Windsor. I think that's the closest place to a crossing in Ontario. Oh yeah, no doubt. My issue is I have a little bit of a criminal record. Apparently, the U.S. doesn't like it when somebody who lit a cop car tries to enter their country for some reason. You mean the coast, right? Because like your whole country is a continent. Oh yeah. I was dumb and like I was old enough to be charged as an adult, so I actually have a criminal record. But yes, when I was 19 years old, I lit a cop car on fire right behind the police station of the town that I was living in. The only reason that I got caught is because, well, see, here's the thing. They didn't have any cameras back there. The only reason I got caught was because there were two people who knew about me doing that, one of which got picked up and, like, knew exactly where I was staying. Like, yeah, it was, is basically somebody opened their mouth to the cops and told them where to find me. Oh, 100%. Actually, the one that I have the most, uh, I'm not going to say evidence, but the one that I know said stuff to at least the guards, um, was the one that ended up getting picked up. He knew exactly where to find me. He was facing some jail time, like probably pen time, not just jail time. Um, and he ended up fucking making a deal to be able to go live with his mom in Australia. So, like, basically, I ended up on the same range that he was in, like, after the fact. And one of the people that was on the same range as him was in with me and essentially informed me that he was opening his mouth to the guards when he shouldn't have. Um, that, yeah, that's fair. Um, yeah, 100% ACAB. I'm lucky that I had a good lawyer. Because, like, so what I was charged with was arson and mischief over $5,000. And I only got 30 days and 2 years probation. Like, my honestly, my first dealing with the cops was when I was. So I was living in North Hollywood at the time. And And let's see, how fucking old was I? Okay, so hold on. North Hollywood, that's when I was in grades three, four, five. Yeah, so I was in either grade four or grade five. And I ended up getting picked up by the cops for throwing a rock at a satellite dish and breaking a window. I laugh, but I shouldn't because it was my mom's birthday, and she was not very pleased because she got called home from work by the cops to come deal with me. Yeah, I really got yelled at. Well, I mean, that's what matters, right? Alrighty, so we're gonna hit that button there. And we are going to get over. Cat, why are you in the way? I don't like. It's not a term that I have used, but now, like, I know in some contexts. It's when I handcuff you, put you in a paddy wagon. That's oh, yeah. I've never had that happen. I hit the snooze button. Hit the snooze button. Yeah, I think the closest that I've come to something like that was riding in the back of a fucking pickup truck going down the expressway while living in Southern California. Because I'm old enough to have lived when, going down seeing a truck going down the highway with kids sitting in the bed was fucking normal. Okay, so we're gonna take a look and see who is doing the thing at the moment. Who do nice. Who do we want to go and um you know what? We're gonna go into A7 Zelica. Looks like they're putting together a noise marine. Oh, yes. Farm read. Okay. Alrighty. So I am gonna take a look at that. And now I can actually do that on my phone. Drive.
MechWarrior application. There we go. Sponsors. Individuals. You are trip 3. Yeah, that one. Late Mac. Answers to Coral. Bones person. Brilliant Azure. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. It looks good to me. Alrighty. So, like I said, we are going to go say hi to A7 Zelica. They are, like I said, working on a noise marine at the moment. Let's go show them some love. If you happen to like what I got going on over here, you'll appreciate what they got going on over there. They're doing the miniature painting thing as well. Should I switch scene? No. Yep, no worries. I will take those color choices into consideration and come up with something spectacular for you. But like I said, I want to thank you all for coming and hanging out. Whether you've been chatting, whether you've been lurking, whether it's your first time in or you're around here regularly, I appreciate each and every one of you. I will be back tomorrow night with some more work on my Try Hard Art Swap project, and I hope to see you all back. Cheers.